Good morning, Norcal Karters, and this is our second video podcast. And today we have special guest Cole Shade, Factory Trackmagic Driver, to help us out with our events. So we're going to do something a little bit different today. We're going to go down the calendar of events that I normally do on a weekly basis. And then Cole, if you have any experience with a promoter or a track that you want to add on top of the schedule, please do. And then what we'll do is we'll talk about the Trackmagic Rally coming up June 4th through the 6th at Pat's Acres. So I'm super excited about that one. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's get to the schedule, so that way we can get these races plugged, and then we'll get to Cole Shade. So this weekend at Stockton is the KPX race. So that's this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, Stockton, and the KPX crew will be there. I heard they resealed or repaved the track, and after more and more karts have been hitting the surface, from my understanding, the surface is actually coming around to be a good racing surface. So we'll have some feedback from some racers on Monday on that. So let's see, KPX Stockton, and then Monday we have Memorial Day. So in my podcast link, I will post a fundraiser. Every year my cousin actually does this big crawdad boil, and at the heart of the boil, it's a fundraiser. It raises funds for fallen soldiers. And so again, I'll post that link. If you choose you want to donate, please do. Or if you have another organization that helps families of fallen soldiers, remember Memorial Day, it's not, oh, thank you for your service. Memorial Day is a memory of the soldiers that didn't come back. So it's us Americans have a great way of taking any holiday and turning it into a drink fest. Cole, you're too young for drinking. You shouldn't be smiling.
I just thought it was funny.
But again, it's a memorial. It's Memorial Day. So just take a moment and realize that. And again, I will post a link in our description here. And next Monday, we'll have a podcast again. Let's see. Next week, we already mentioned it, right, Cole? We have the Trackmagic Super Rally. So we're not going to highlight that too much right this second. We're going to wrap the show up with the Super Rally. Rockfest was supposed to have their NOLA event, and they ended up canceling it. Probably just lack of participation. It's unfortunate because out here on the West Coast, the rock stuff is so strong and doing really well. And it seems like they're really struggling elsewhere, especially in the central regions. And Sunday, June 6th, we have the Shasta Kart Club. So Shasta Kart Club. Now, Cole, I know with Team GFC, you guys spent some time at Shasta. What do you think of that place?
So I love that track. The layout is awesome, but it's so bumpy. Very bumpy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and
actually.
So for those that don't know, Cole Shade, he runs a 125 shifter kart, and he runs the Trackmagic colors under the GFC tent. So keep that in perspective when he's talking about Shasta and being bumpy. He's in a 125 shifter. So how bumpy is it? I've not driven that track since 2001, so I'm dating myself.
That's where I cracked my rib just from driving.
Oh, okay.
Through a rib vest. I was wearing a carbon fiber rib vest, and I cracked my rib.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was last year, right?
Yeah, in April.
In April, that's right, because that was during all the COVID stuff, and that was one of the few tracks that really managed to figure out how to stay open during COVID.
Yeah.
That could wiped you out for 2020.
Yeah, because I cracked it in Shasta, and then just kind of kept driving the rest of the year, and it actually like fully broke, and I tore cartilage in October driving with Oliver in Sonoma.
Got it. Yeah, so it just that's what finished you off.
Yeah.
And that was the end of your chance at Rock the Rio, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember your video chats and your video updates with the Trackmagic group, and You broke a lot of people's hearts.
I know. Broke my heart too.
Yeah, but I guess your replacement, Oliver Askew, I guess he did okay down at Rock the Rio, right?
Yeah, he did all right.
He did all right. For those who don't know, Oliver won. So came
Yeah,
back to karting and he won. So let's
but
see. So yeah, Shasta Kart Club, June 6th.
yeah,
And then go ahead.
going back to Shasta, like it's really unfortunate that it's so bumpy because the layout is like very fun. It's really fun to drive.
Oh, it's that I love that track. Yeah, so 2001, I would have been in a 125, and that was at the time one of the tracks with the longer straightaway.
Yeah,
And it's a pure straight, and you fly coming on the straightaway. I mean, you're carrying some good speed coming through that left-hander going down the straight.
yeah, you are.
Yeah, and you get towards the end, it's like, man, is this straightaway going to end?
And
Then you
then
have
you're
the hard
going,
hairpin
yeah,
left-hander coming back towards the pits. It's a really neat layout.
yeah, it is.
I agree with you on that. And then also Reading's one of those areas. If it wasn't for karting, I I would just think Reading is a gas stop on the way to Portland, because I just never I've never explored the Reading area, but because of karting and going to Shasta and hanging out in the Reading area for a couple days at a time back then, it's always been one of those areas I would love to just go up to for 4 or 5 days. Uh, you have the river. I think it's the Sacramento River that's running through there that flows out of Shasta. And that whole area just seems to be very beautiful.
Yeah,
It'd be really neat just to explore. And again, if it wasn't for karting, Reading would just be a truck stop on the way to Portland for me. So I'm glad I had that opportunity to be able to see the surrounding area. And again, I'd love to explore it more. But yeah, so Shasta Kart Club, June 6th. And then Monday, NCK Road Racing. They will be at Thunder Hill, and they will be on the East track. So NCK Road Racing, they are a calendar sponsor, nckroadracing.com, and they will be at Thunder Hill East. So if you go to NCK Road Racing, on the right-hand side of their page, if you're on a computer, that's how you can register for their next event. On the mobile, you just got to probably look for the 3 dots or the 3 bars and scroll down to the menu. Have you ever done any road racing, Cole?
I've never driven on like a road racing circuit, but me and Gary Carlton went to a NCK road race at Thunder Hill one time to support a driver who had just bought the GFC cart, and it was the first one to try road racing it.
Oh, that's Larry Stevens.
Yeah.
Yeah. We actually had Larry Stevens on a few months ago trying to promote the Speed Vegas event.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So Larry came on and we were talking about Speed Vegas. Yeah. And did he win that weekend, or he finished second?
I think he got second. He won or he got second in one of the races, but I think
Yeah.
he had bad luck in the others.
Yeah, I think you're right, and we highlighted that with Larry on the interview. Yeah, I think you're right about that. Otherwise, yeah, I think he was looking to sweep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Larry Stevens out there with the GFC. Nice plug there, by the way, young man. Good job. So that is Monday, June 7th, NCK Road Racing at Thunder Hill, and Monday evening I should be knocking out another podcast. And for those that are wondering, this video, I will take the audio and I'll upload it to Spreaker and YouTube, so it'll be an audio format as well. And then we go into June 12th and the 13th. We have the California Rock Championship combined with Sonoma Rock race number 4. And traditionally, these combo events with Steve Cameron and Andy Seisman, they have been very good. I mean, the turnout has been outstanding in many of the classes, especially the shifter stuff. So, Cole, I'm assuming, are you going to be there?
Yes, I will be.
Yes. All right. So And then I have Gary Carlton, who's a sponsor of our calendar as well. GFCkarting.com. I have on the calendar that he will be there, supporting his customers under his tent. And we might even see Formula Works up there, maybe.
I'm not sure if they're coming up.
Yeah, I know they have a lot of racing down south with the Cal Speed stuff, but who knows? Maybe the tent's going to be even bigger for the combined CRC Sonoma Rock event.
Yeah.
And let me knock out these other two events, and then let's go back to Rock Sonoma, because I know you race up there all the time.
Okay.
So we have the Bakersfield Kart Club, June 12th, which is a Saturday, and that, I believe, is running under the lights. But Bakersfield Kart Club is on Saturday, June 12th, and Blue Max Kart Club. So this is a shout-out. There's a gentleman at some point over the past month sent me a message on one. I can't find the message at all. I saw it on my phone. It came through. I never responded. I lost it. But there was a message that he sent, and he said, hey, highlight that Blue Max repaved grid A and B. And I've highlighted that in the past. But I did get your message. Again, I can't find it. So I don't know if you sent it on Instagram. I don't know if you sent it on Facebook, directly on Norcal Karters. I don't know if you commented on a YouTube video. I apologize. I got the message. I cannot find it. I couldn't respond. But Blue Max has repaved Grid A and Grid B leading to the track. So for those that didn't know that, there you go. And Cole, I know you've spent some time out at Blue Max.
Yeah, I didn't know they repaved those.
Yeah, they did it about 3-4 weeks ago.
Wow, that's awesome. Because last time we were there was for the Trackmagic Easter Jam.
Yeah.
And in my kart, I'm like swerving down the pit lane to avoid scraping.
Oh, it was brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, it was undrivable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they on Facebook, they were posting pictures and videos. They brought a grader out and they actually graded it, tore up all the old asphalt, relayed new asphalt. So yeah, now you should be able to drive. Now keep in mind, new guys, that doesn't mean haul ass through the pits, doing 90 miles an hour before you get on the track. But for us old guys that we kind of putt through the pits and get on the track, yeah, for a long time it was been undrivable. And it's unfortunate. The Blue Max crew, they put a lot of energy into that track, and their hands are tied on a lot of stuff. They're on city property. For those that don't know, it's an old landfill, and so the track is constantly settling, especially when we get the winters and the summers like we do. It gets real wet out there, and then it gets real dry, and things really settle. But yeah, so we just surprised Cole Shade with new paving at Blue Max Kart Club.
Yeah. That track in the 125 is obviously a little too tight, but at the Easter Jam, I drove Will Delia's KA100 there.
Yeah.
I thought it was a blast in the KA.
I would agree. Now, did you drive the track backwards?
I have in a KA.
Going clockwise.
Yeah. I haven't in my shifter, though.
In the shifter, I prefer it clockwise. I prefer running it the opposite direction that they normally run it in a shifter. And it feels like a completely different track. You're going down the back straight, and then you drop right into their version of the S's. And it feels like a mini roller coaster because your stomach just drops as you make that right-hander. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're right. The KA100 would be a very nice kart for that track. The Briggs have been extremely popular out there, probably for that reason as well.
I mean, in the 125, it just it has like all the bumps, and you're just like going too fast everywhere. But in the 100cc, you don't really even feel the bumps because you're not going as fast.
Yeah, you're correct. And now, so when you're in the 125 out there, being that it's an older track. It's not like a Sonoma. You're very well aware of that. But for those that are watching or listening, Blue Max is just your typical, I call them IKF tracks. Meaning, it was developed in the 70s or 80s, and the tracks were a little bit narrower. it was perfectly fine for KT100s or other karts at those times that were a little bit narrower, a little bit smaller. Um, and it's, again, by current standards, especially looking at a shifter, it's a tight track. How do you feel as a driver when you're in a shifter? When you run a track like Davis, have you been to Prairie City in a shifter?
I have.
Okay, so Davis and Prairie City specifically, being that those are tight tracks for a shifter to really let the thing hang out. How do you feel that helps you as a driver when you go to a place like Sonoma?
It teaches you to be smooth when it's very like difficult to be smooth. Because a track that's that tight, you don't have any time to really think about what you're doing. So
Yep.
if you can keep the cart from sliding and you can get like hit your shifts properly at the right times and you can get out of the tight corners, like learning how to get out of the tight corners there will help you at Sonoma with the 2 hairpins. And it'll help you with overall cart control, keeping the cart from sliding, shifting at the right points, especially for people who are more inexperienced.
Yeah, I agree with all that. And for me, being old and a wash up, and I used to be a lot faster than I am now mentality. Um, what I like about the Blue Max track or Prairie City in the shifter cart, I love how it forces me to be so much faster thinking. Your upshifts, your downshifts. It's like, and it sounds so stupid. It's like you always want to be fast shifting, but especially at those tracks when the corner is just on top of you right now, you're consciously thinking, I need to shift faster.
Yeah.
Like if I take a lazy shift, you just missed 3 corners. Um, and I like that. I mean, it's a true workout. When I get out of the cart, it's like I'm rolling out of it. I'm not
Yeah.
standing out of it.
Yeah, it's being able to drive like smoothly, but still going fast at a track like that is like it really teaches you how to like drive properly.
Yeah. And then you go to a place like Sonoma, and I would imagine it's going to slow things down for you. Where
Yeah.
it's because Sonoma, for those that don't know, is wider, it's smoother. For the most part, all the curbs are usable, whether you want to get on them or not. They're at least drivable. And then you go to a place like Blue Max, and some of the curbs are perfectly flat, and then some of them you don't want to touch at all.
Yeah.
And same at Prairie City. Some are drivable, and some you don't want to touch at all.
Yeah, I
um,
think Prairie
Go ahead.
City Prairie City more so than Blue Max is the kind of track like in a shifter that will really teach you a lot of things. The surface at Blue Max, in the shifter, it doesn't have a lot of grip, like with the Levanto tire, because no one's driven there on the Levanto tire. But then, driving the K100, it felt like it had a lot of grip, just because we're going slower, and there's actually Ivinco blue rubber down.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, let's. So we're gonna jump back into the calendar. So that was Blue Max Kart Club, June 13th, Sunday, June 13th. Again, Sunday, June 12th, Bakersfield Kart Club. And I said I was gonna do a rewind. And Sonoma, Rock Sonoma. I know you have at least 50 or 60 laps out there, right? At Sonoma.
For like one practice day, maybe.
Yeah, for one practice day. Add a couple of zeros to
Yeah.
that. So I know you and your dad have spent a lot of time at Sonoma practicing. Obviously, GFC Karting has spent a lot of time up there practicing. Um, do you enjoy the combined events as a racer?
I do. Yeah.
You do. Okay. And to give a quick plug, so Andy Saisman and Steve Cameron, both of their series sponsor our calendar, norcalkarters.com. So we have challengekarting.com. That is the California Rock Championship. That is their website. And sanzarukarting.com. That is the website for Sonoma Rock Cup. And you can register on the Sonoma page, so sanzarukarting.com. They are handling the registration for the combined event coming up June 12th and the 13th. And thank you. I appreciate the sponsorship. It just helps keep this program alive. And it also allows me to pay for the subscriptions. Like right now, Cole and I are using Skype. We're doing the video chat, and in the future, I'm working on platforms for live chatting during the podcast. And so, if any of you have any feedback or can help with that sort of technology, I'm open to it. It's all new to me. Cole asked me earlier. He's like, "Hey, old man, why aren't we zooming?" And I go, "Well, my 9-year-old hasn't taught me how to zoom yet, so I don't come from the business world. My daughter's on Zoom every single day for school. My wife's a teacher; she's on Zoom, and I just haven't sat down with them to really explore the Zoom technology. But if you're listening or watching, and you could go, oh, this could be so much better with this platform. In the future, what I'd like to have is Cole and I live, talking back and forth. And you can chat live on one of your social media platforms, and we get the comments right there. And that's the future of NorCal Karters for the podcasts and interviews in the future. So with that little segue, Sonoma, tell me what you like about these combined events.
I love how Andy runs the California Rock series.
Okay.
For all the combined events, we do qualifying on Saturday evening rather than Sunday morning, which I enjoy. Because it's less practice. Because I mean, for all us the shifter guys, we all drive there so much that we don't want to do 3 days of practice before the race, unless we're like doing testing with Gary.
Yeah.
And so when you have like at the normal Sanzaru Rock Sonoma races, we have like 9 practice sessions on the Saturday before the race. And so when it's combined, you only get 4 or 5, and then you do qualifying. So that also shortens up the schedule for Sunday, so you can get out of the track earlier.
That's true, because I know you and your dad, you guys always help Gary with teardown and setup. And then you're what, 3 hours from the track?
Yeah, 2.
2 hours. So it's if you're done loading up at 8 or 9 o'clock on a Sunday, that's a really long weekend.
Yeah, I mean we've had after the Challenge of the Americas race there, because we had so many people, such a big tent set up. We finished tearing it down at 10:30. Drove home, got home at like 1.
Yeah, no, it's we had the trucks and the cars parked in the parking lot with the lights on.
Yeah,
trying to tear everything down, and that was that was a late night.
that was.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When Steve Cameron asked if I wanted to do the announcing for the track, I was like, yeah, that keeps me going to the track. Oh wait, and then I have to stay late to tear down a tent.
Yeah. We have lots of people help out though, so.
Yeah, and you see that a lot with especially with the GFC stuff. Obviously, I've been around that tent quite a bit over the past couple of years, so I've seen it hands on. And there's other teams out there too. You have the Ron White guys, and you see a number of their drivers and mechanics staying around afterwards, tearing everything down. Honestly, those are probably the 2 bigger teams at the track, so they have more of the help as well. But it happens throughout the whole pit. People pitch in, they help out. But as the season wears on, it does get a little bit tiring.
Yeah.
So you like the less practice because you just have so much time there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do every single practice session on Saturday, then you're like you've driven so much, especially because we usually drive on the Friday too.
Yeah.
So
now, would you like to see it where it's instead of 9 sessions, maybe it's 4 or 5, but the sessions are longer? And then possibly you can come in and make a change and go right back out?
Yeah, longer hot pit sessions would be good.
Longer hot pit sessions.
That's what we do on
Pro Tour. Bring it back.
That's what we do in for Challenge of the Americas. They have the on Friday for practice. Like they have like their normal sessions, like 12 minutes, which is even still longer than the Sonoma sessions. And then the last session is a 20-minute hot pit session, so you can change stuff on the go-kart when you come in and then go back out and test it.
Okay. What I'll do too is I'll mention this to Steve, because they're always asking for people's feedback. It's they really want to run a series for the racers, and any feedback, if it's echoed by multiple people, is valuable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So Sonoma Rock combined, that should be a good turnout.
I think it will be.
Yeah. Even the, I mean, I at first I was very hesitant to do the announcing. I love running my mouth. I mean, whether it's in front of a mic or just under a tent, I like talking. Everyone kind of knows that already. But I was really hesitant, believe it or not, to do the announcing, because outside of the shifter stuff, outside of the kids from Mini Rock, or the kid, half of them moved up to junior. I really didn't know a lot of the drivers, and I didn't know their background stories or anything else. And we started doing trying to get some bio sheets together. And funny enough, at the last race, I got 3 bio sheets. Well, I got 4, but I got 3 at the beginning, and they were all from the same class. It was all from the KA100 class, and it was Shimon, Littell, and Martin. So Christopher Martin, and then Eddie Shimon and Ayrton Littell. Those were the only 3 that gave me their profiles. And I'm looking at it, it's like, wait, this is the same class. So I meant to kind of work that in, and I need to get better at that as an announcer, but trying to get those background stories. So if you're racing at Sonoma and you're doing the rock stuff, send in information to either myself, norcalkarters@gmail.com, or email Kimberly or Steve at Cameron Racing, and they'll forward them to me, and I'll figure out a good way to start working those in. Because during the announcing stuff, it's nice to have that little bit background information. So shifter guys, Cole Shade, you're not too good to write a bio sheet.
I know. I tried.
And if there's questions on the bio sheet that's like, I don't want to answer that, I'd rather write in your own questions. Because the whole thing about a bio is, as an announcer, I want to be able to read it and understand who I'm talking about on the track. But with that being said, the shifter racing at the last race, that was exciting to watch.
Yeah, it was a good race.
That was a very good race. Yeah, I mean, all year long has really been everyone's chasing your teammate Hunter Pickett, right?
Yeah.
And Hunter, I love watching Hunter drive. I told his dad one time, I go, he's almost boring to watch because he's so smooth and controlled. And then you look at his lap time, and it's like a couple weeks or a couple races ago, he broke the track record. It's like, it didn't look like it. It's like, I like watching the guys in the back are more enjoyable to watch because they're all over the place, arms flying and everything else. But him and Ryan Martin had a good race. You had a hell of a battle for third going on. And during your race, there was 3 distinctive races I was watching. And it's like, okay, well, where am I going to be? And I was just lucky enough to look over at Ryan and Hunter race, and I was able to announce Ryan's pass because I happened to watch it. But then I'm watching your race, and there was also a race for 6th or 7th, I think.
Really?
Yeah. So there's 3 good races going on the track, and my ADD was just an overdrive.
Yeah, that was a good race because I mean the top 5 were all like similar speed.
Yes.
Like we were all like within a tenth.
Oh, you could have went. Honestly, I think you could have went from 3rd to 6th real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, and it wouldn't have been more than. I mean, it wouldn't have been anything malicious by anybody. It was just your pack was so tight, and there was a lot of shuffling going on, just back and forth, and no, it was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
So it's neat having that perspective. I wish I could stand on the top of the scoring tower.
Yeah.
Then I could see everything a lot better.
So, I mean, I was standing in there with you, and you really can't see much from in there.
No, like when you can't. Like I can see out the front window, and I can get 75% of the track. But then when I look to the right, or I'm looking south on the track, the windows are in the corner. It's a big blind spot. So it's like I'm dancing around the different windows trying to see, oh, okay, well, what's going on there? And you know what I'm really surprised about? And I have a lot more respect for the professional announcers out there. On the starts, it's 2-dimensional. So I know who everyone is in the shifter class. So I can recognize him either by the helmet and the cart pretty quickly. but it's still two-dimensional. Like if you have a good launch, I don't know until you make that left-hander. If you're running reverse national like we did at the last race, I have no idea until you come around turn 1 and go into 2, because it's, oh, wait a second. Okay, now there's a position change. But on the starts, you see karts go three or four wide, but you don't know where they're at. You don't know if they passed. It's kind of weird. It's like that was, to me, the biggest surprise.
Yeah.
And you have a completely different point of view. You're like, I'm driving. Everything looks chaotic.
Yeah, especially the starts. I've always loved shifter starts.
That's the best part.
I've loved
If they had a series that was just shifter starts and you did a lap and pulled in, I would run that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I mean, because I never enjoyed the tag starts. Like, I feel like too much can go wrong there. But in the shifter, it's all just like, it's up to you. Because in tag, you're getting pushed. People are stopping in front of you. But in the shifter, like, you either get a good start or you don't.
Yeah. Yeah, the only time it really gets hairy in the shifter stuff is when someone pooches it at the front of the grid.
Uh-huh.
That's about the only time. And it's surprising you don't see bigger pileups in the shifter stuff. But you drivers are pretty good at reacting to a parked cart out there. Every once in a while it gets nasty. But
yeah, it's usually, like, because people throw their hands up.
Yeah.
So you can see them. Usually, like, the bad crashes happen if someone up in the front of the grid stalls. People behind them are, like, narrowly avoiding them. So they're, like, the people behind can't see because they're in a train. Yes. And then you see, like, one person part, another person part another way.
Yes.
And then, like, someone parts right in front of you and you don't realize there's something there. That's how people crash bad.
Yeah, or the guy trying to avoid the parked cart turns into somebody else because it's like, well, I'm going to hit a parked car, I'm going to hit the guy next to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably hitting a rolling cart's probably a little bit less worse than hitting the parked cart.
Yeah.
But yeah, the shifter starts are great. They should almost have cameras backwards. On the next race, you should put your camera backwards on the start.
William Ferguson did that one time.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be a cool view just for the starts.
We got a good view of someone punching him into the dirt.
I guess that's another reason to do it.
Yeah, you can see who did it.
So Rock Sonoma, we have Cole Shade, Factory Trackmagic Driver. He will be at Rock Sonoma. Let's see. The next couple of ones, I'm just going to blast through them real quick. And then we're going to circle back to Trackmagic. I really want to talk about the rally. And everyone's probably just tired of me talking. So we have, let's see, June 12th and 13th. Challenge Karting and Sanzura Karting. Those are the websites. So it's the California Rock Championship combined with Sonoma Rock Cup. That is June 12th through the 13th. Bakersfield Kart Club, June 12th. Blue Max Kart Club, June 13th. And to the gentleman that sent me a message, please send me another one so I can figure out where that message went or what platform it was on. That would be much appreciated. Let's see here. June 18th through the 20th is Pro Kart Challenge. That same weekend is KPX, and that same weekend is Father's Day. So if anyone's looking for a gift to give me, I'm a father. I love tequila, and I like race passes, and I could use a new shifter cart. And what else? What else do I need, Cole? A tie?
A tie would be good. A bow tie.
A tie would be good.
A bow tie.
So yeah, Father's Day, June 20th. Let's see here. And another NorCal Karter sponsor, CCKRA, Central California Kart Racing Association. They will be at Santa Maria. And that same weekend, Prairie City. Cole and I talked about Prairie City earlier. So Prairie City will be the two-stroke weekend, June 26th through the 27th. Let's see, Shasta Kart Club. They have a makeup race that day. So if you're a member or you're racing Shasta Kart Club, call them ahead of time because on the calendar, that is a makeup race. And our NorCal 80 Shifter Championship group, they will be heading to Prairie City on that weekend. And our limited 125 shifter group, they will be heading to Prairie City that weekend. So the June 26th and 27th is going to be very, very, very busy. And we're going to wrap up with 4th of July, July 3rd through the 4th, July 3rd through the 4th, Prairie City, PCKarting.com. That is their 4-stroke weekend. And we did a podcast with Donald on actually 2 weeks ago. We posted it on Spreaker. Yeah, we posted on Spreaker on the podcast app. And he had 98 entries at their 4-stroke weekend. Can you imagine that, Cole? 98 entries, and that's only half his classes. Yeah, so he had to break up the 2-stroke and the 4-stroke weekends because of the COVID restrictions at the state park and how many people they could have on the site. But he had 98 entries for the 4-stroke weekend, so that's fantastic. It almost makes me want to put together my 4-stroke back together, go out there and race. Almost.
I've never driven a 206.
You've never driven a 206?
Never driven a 206.
All right, I'll make you a deal. I'll put together a 4-stroke again. We'll trade carts for a couple of weeks. How about that?
I don't know if that'd be a very good trade.
It'd be a great trade. Okay, so that's going to wrap up the Norcal Karters calendar. You can find it at norcalkarters.com. Click on the calendar link. And Cole Shade, we're going to talk about Pat's Acres. So, are you excited to go or what?
I'm very excited. I've never been to that track, and I've heard only good things about that track. So,
I've said it on this show so many times. Last year, I was almost heartbroken that they canceled the event because that was going to be my summer vacation trip. And I'm not really a Trackmagic guy. I don't have my Trackmagic carts like Delia does or Bob Eriks or these guys. Not to say I don't support it. I think it's a great idea what they're doing, but I'm not part of that crew. You know what I mean? And I was heartbroken when I found out they were canceling the event. And in hindsight, I'm glad they did because there were so many weird things going on with COVID. Oregon's just about as bad as California when it comes to restrictions. And then many of us may have forgot. They had some gnarly fires up there.
Yeah.
That were just sweeping across Oregon. And there was a number of karting families that were affected by that. So it was, in hindsight, it was a very smart decision to postpone it. And yeah, next week, a lot of us are going to hit the road. My daughter and I, we're going to drive up. I don't know if we're leaving Thursday or Friday yet, but we're going to drive up and attend the rally. And then when are you going up?
We're leaving Wednesday, and with GFC, we're doing testing up there Thursday and Friday.
Got it.
And like Saturday morning, we're going to finish up, and then the festivities begin.
Can you tell us what you're testing? Or has Gary not told you yet?
Just can't say.
Just can't say. Just can't say. That's no fun. People are like going, oh, come on, tell us what you're going to test.
I'm testing that track. I've never driven there, and we have a race there in July. So
yeah. Oh, that's right. Good plug. California Rock Championship.
Yeah.
Pat's Acres in July. Good job there.
Double header.
You should host this show.
It's a double header there. So that is
going to be a double header.
Yeah.
Yes. So you guys, there's 2 drivers I can think of from Oregon or Washington. I don't know if Joey Wimset's going to drive at that race or not. But if he shows up, he's definitely going to be a contender. And there's another kid from that area that you probably know.
Yeah.
Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe he can show you around the track.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
That's what you're hoping. Yeah, so that should be a lot of fun. So you guys are doing the testing. That's great. Now, the Trackmagic Rally, have you looked at the schedule or anything?
I have, yeah.
Okay. And are you excited about it?
I'm very excited.
Are you more excited about the fire dancers, the food trucks, The rental kart enduro race or testing for 3 days?
I think my top two is the food truck and the enduro race.
Okay, not to rat you out, but I've seen you eat. And they do not have a plain pasta food truck.
Isn't it Mexican?
I don't, they have a Hawaiian shaved ice truck showing up.
I saw that.
Yeah, I think they had a taco truck showing up. Yeah. So that should be good. Are you looking it up right now?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So they'll have pulled pork sandwiches, mac and cheese, chili, hot dogs. Yeah. And then Sunday morning, they're going to have breakfast burritos.
Breakfast burritos.
As a lot of people at the track know, I'm a big fan of those.
Of breakfast burritos?
Yeah.
Are you really?
Yeah. You know the ones at Sonoma? The food truck?
Yep.
Those
That's
ones
your go-to?
That is my go-to.
Got it. Yeah, I'm trying to find their event page real quick. Ooh, windy. Yeah, because they have a lot of information going out there. That's the one downside to Facebook. It's like it's a great tool, but sometimes the information just gets lost so fast.
I screenshotted it, so that's how I found it so fast.
Oh, yeah. See, you kids are smarter than me. That's a good way of doing it. And I know they sent me the information, but again, I get so distracted sometimes on stuff that it's like, well, did it go to Norcal Karters? Did it go to my email? Was it on my personal page?
Yeah.
That's why I feel bad for that guy for the Blue Max stuff. It's like he sent me a nice email. Hey, give our club some love. And then it's like, well, where did that message go?
Yeah.
All right. So I found it. So we have Friday, June 14th. June 14th is pit setup.
It's
arrival from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Test and tune. Get those carts running and set up. But you're already going to be there. So you should be pretty close to the track record by Friday, right?
I hope.
Yeah.
That'll be my second day there, so.
That'll be your second day there. That's right. 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Social time in the main tent. And Squadra Trackmagic Driver introductions and official meet and greet. So at 6 to 8, I get to personally shake your hand and say, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah, there'll be another special guest there, though.
There will be another special guest.
Yeah.
Who?
Can't say.
Hey, no one watches this. Don't worry. You can say it.
Well, that's what the driver introductions are for.
Can I say it? Is it someone I would know? Can I guess?
No.
I can't guess. Do they race full-size cars?
I can't say. I just wanted to put it out there.
You can't
make
say.
You think.
Yeah, that's terrible, Cole Shade. Now I want to know who it is because I honestly don't know either.
I'm building anticipation.
What's that?
I'm building anticipation.
Yes, you are. Yeah, that's true. So for those that are listening to the track to this podcast, the Trackmagic Rally is actually open to everybody. It's going to be a combination of a nostalgia Trackmagic get together reunion for a lot of these guys. But Jason Lapointe has also made it very clear. It's like this is also supposed to be outreach for karting. And like Cole and I were talking about, they're having a food truck. What is it? Arlene Cuisine, according to my screenshot. Arlene Cuisine. Hot dogs, chili dogs, pulled pork, mac and cheese, drinks. They're doing an endurance race. Are you going to do the endurance race?
I am. I don't have a team yet, though. I don't know.
You don't have a team yet?
I haven't figured it out yet.
Oh, okay. Well, if you need someone to put your cart over those scales, I'm that guy.
That's a problem. They made that post in the owners group saying like the average 180, and everyone was like, it should be average 200. And I would need someone who's like 250 to equal mine out.
Well, otherwise it would be you. Is Ayrton Littell going? Do you know?
I don't know.
You don't know? It'd be you, Ayrton, and Eddie Shimon.
Yeah, we'd be like 145 average.
I was going to say combined, but yeah. So the endurance race, that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else? They got the fire dancers. That should be a lot of fun. So again, this is going to be a family-friendly event. Pat's Acres, for those who don't know, it's about 20 minutes south of Portland. It's right off I-5 in a town called Canby, Oregon. And if you know where Wilsonville is, that's where the host hotel is. And it's only like 6 minutes from the track. You know what? This is actually a great segue. Shelly, I hope you're not listening to this. But I let Gary Carlton drive my rental car at that hotel back in, I think, 2000. And that's when I really realized Gary Carlton was nuts, because he was either 13 or 14 at the time. I rented a Subaru Outback. And I go, hey, you want to drive? And he goes, yeah, I want to drive. He jumped in the driver's seat, and he just started spinning donuts in the Subaru Outback. And who else was with us? There was no responsible adult with us, because I was supposed to be the responsible adult. But I don't know if Almendinger was with us, but there's two, maybe Buckwalter and Reesner. I don't know. There's 4 of us, though. But yeah, I gave him the keys of the rental car. And I remember thinking, like, that could have been stupid and bad. Man, that actually makes me feel really old, because that was, I think, in 2000. 99 or 2000 for what the original Pro Tour. Yeah, and Gary was just a kid. It's like, man, that just ties me back to Canby real quick. So I learned my lesson on that. Don't give a karting kid your rental car keys.
I had to drive a rental car down in LA.
Did you?
Yeah, we all went out to dinner, the GFC team.
Yep.
And I was driving like Gary, Sonny, all them, Jake Neal, and like my dad was with us, and they all got drunk, so I had to drive us back to the hotel.
Were you driving proper, or a wild man trying to make people throw up?
I was driving proper, but Jake Neal was in the passenger seat. And when we pulled into the parking lot, he pulled the handbrake while we were pulling into the parking lot.
Yes, you have to on a rental car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just part of it. I think that's why a lot of rental cars went to that electronic stupid switch thing.
Yeah.
So I've never tried to e-brake in one of those.
It
only
was
because
one of
it's my personal car.
It was one of those, but it still worked. Yeah, he pulled it.
And you couldn't figure out how to get it off quick enough?
Yeah, we just stopped for a second, had to push it, and then we went going.
Oh, there you go. Very cool. So kids in rental cars, man. But that's kind of a testament to karting. It's like you have these kids that are racing so hard and so fast and so fierce on the track. So you have no problem just tossing them your car keys, because like, okay, this kid's going to be better than 99% of the drivers on the road anyway.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I'm interested in the official donut contest at 2 p.m. on Saturday.
I'm only good for about 1 donut. Like after that, my stomach just starts hurting.
No, like donuts. Like you just want to race?
Oh, I can do that. Can I borrow your cart?
You have the wrong type of donut stuck in your head.
Well, we were talking about food, and I'm fat, and
donuts on your mind.
Yeah, and then the other night I was watching this thing on TV. It was about this Cambodian refugee, and he used to work for Wenchels, and he started his own donut place in LA, and he grew his franchise to like 75 shops.
Wow.
Yeah, and then it turned out, if I got the numbers right, they were saying that from this guy sponsoring other Cambodians coming over that would then open their donut shops. I think they said he helped foster 2,500 or 5,000 donut shops. And it's actually a pretty interesting story. And then the sad part is he lost all of it because he gambled it away.
Oh,
That was kind of the guy in the 80s was clearing. He was netting $100,000 a month from donuts and donut supplies. So he was netting that a month in the 80s. And he lost it all because he had a gambling problem, which was sad.
we're in the wrong business.
Donuts. I was thinking that. It's like, but every time I go by a really good donut shop, they're open like at 2 a.m. working. And that's about when I go to bed. So I don't know if that really works out well for me. But a good donut shop would kill it.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So you're excited about the donut contest.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Are you going to tell us what your style is going to be?
I've never done donuts.
Are you going to lock your knee into the wheel and no hand it?
I've never done donuts in a shifter cart.
Is Kyle Martin going to be there?
Probably.
I wonder if we could talk him into doing a standing up in the seat donut.
He can do that?
I don't know. But one of the most iconic pictures from karting is Kyle Martin going across the start-finish line, standing up in his seat.
I've seen that picture.
Yes. So now if you're listening, Kyle, take it to the next level. Standing in your seat donuts.
He would need to hold the throttle cable in his hand.
Something. Yes. I want to see it. So I have to ask, what engine are you going to use for the donut contest?
Well, I only have a rock shifter.
Yeah, but are you going to use the good one? The backup? A practice? Somebody else's? Are you going to ask someone else to borrow it?
Preferably someone else's. But probably just my practice engine. Actually, probably the engine that I just blew up at Sonoma.
Okay. Rainey's sitting there going like this. Come on, do those donuts. He should sponsor the donut contest.
I was just at Sweet Tech yesterday.
Were you?
Yeah.
Were they busy?
A little bit. I got to do the bead blaster.
Yep. Did it shock you?
No.
Oh, you didn't get the static shock through your bicep?
No, does that happen?
Oh, yeah.
No, I've never had that.
Yeah, if you don't keep yourself grounded and you isolate yourself with the gloves and you're doing a lot of blasting, and then you go to lean in and then it zaps you.
Huh.
Yeah. Try it next time. It's fun. Yeah, I was down there last week, and that place was just packed with engines.
Yeah, there's a lot of engines sitting in there.
Yeah, they were just packed. And then they go, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "Well, I need parts."
I was looking at the board. There was 5 Delia engines.
Yeah. Yep. KA Racing, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh no, it was
80 shifters.
80s. Yeah, the 80s.
Very cool. Yeah, the 80s stuff will be good. So yeah, the Trackmagic Rally. I'm super excited about this. At first, it was just going to be me driving up because my daughter's in school, my wife's still working, so I was just going to head up, and I'll be up there. They asked me to do the announcing, so I'll see how that goes. I'm really looking forward to it, and then hopefully I can knock out a bunch of podcast interviews with a lot of the people. I'm really looking forward to it. But then my daughter all of a sudden goes, "Dad, I want to go with you," and I was like, "Oh, okay." Which is fine. I mean, I love it when she wants to hang out with me, except for when I'm in the middle of a podcast. Cole's shaking his head because this is our second attempt at a podcast because my daughter came in looking for school supplies. But I'm looking forward to it. It's just a good event. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be family friendly. There's a lot of jokes going around about the White Claw and all that stuff, but again, if you're kind of on the fringe of karting and it's something that you just want a fun event to go to, so Pat's Acres, you can go to the Trackmagic Owners Group website, which is trackmagicog.com, and you can check them out. But the rally is going to be a lot of fun. So apparently Cole is looking forward to eating donuts. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the actual donut competition. So I don't know what he was talking about. I feel bad for Eggers when it comes to the enduro racing. There almost needs to be $1,000 deposit on each cart. because we're gonna see how that goes. But that seems
Yeah.
like that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then Cole kind of said there's gonna be some special guests at the track, but he can't tell us who, which isn't cool. Cole.
Building anticipation.
That's right. So if people are wondering why I'm kind of dazing off, I have Cole's video over in my right-hand side of the screen. And maybe I should just move it to right behind the camera so it looks like I'm talking to Cole. But then it blocks my view. So Trackmagic Rally, Pat's Acres, that should be a lot of fun. What else you got, Cole?
So another thing at the rally that I'm excited about is Jason LaPointe's the 190cc 4-stroke shifter. I'm excited to demo that again because I got to drive it in Davis, and I think his whole idea behind that engine is awesome.
Okay. Now, so I'm aware of the package. I don't know much about it. I'm not a pit bike guy. I don't come from a motocross background. Is this an engine that's going to be similar to an 80 or somewhere between an 80 and a 125?
It's slightly faster than the 80, and it's slightly slower than CR 125.
Okay. A stock photo? Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I drove it in Davis, and like it was like pretty like decent at Davis. It wasn't too fast. Okay. Very easy to drive. It's a 5-speed.
Oh, it's a 5-speed.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Okay.
It doesn't have too much torque to where it like bucks. We were on the Avinco blue tire, and it still had good grip. It didn't feel like it was all over the place.
Okay.
And it was just very easy to drive because it's a shifter kart, but you don't shift as much.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, how is fifth gear? Is it space? Is like third, fourth, and fifth? Is the spacing between shifts? Does it seem natural and right? Or
yeah. So we needed a. He has like with these pit bike engines, they're very inexpensive because so many people race the pit bikes over like in Japan and Europe.
Okay.
And so like there's so many accessories you can get for these engines, and I think he had a different cam to put on it.
Okay.
And so that would move the RPM range up like 600.
Okay.
Because at the end of the straightaways, like we'd pull fifth gear and then we would just like sit there revving out, and you kind of had to short shift because the power was like lower than it would rev out. So that was unnatural for a 2-stroke guy like me, because 2 strokes you just like scream. But
yeah, in the rock you want to be on the pipe.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're off the pipe, it's not fun.
Yeah. But so the cam is another, like it's inexpensive. Like the engine package is like $1,400 plus like a cam and a carburetor, and like the whole package for everything's like I think $2,000 or less.
So I should bring my helmet.
Yes.
To demo this thing.
Yeah, quite a few people drove it. I mean, me, Bob Ericks, William Ferguson. I think who else? George Barros drove it, but his idea behind it is it's an inexpensive shifter engine for club level.
Yeah. Okay.
And I mean, like, imagine like KPX having a shifter field of a ton of, like, I think that would be awesome. And they're fun to drive. They're extremely easy, inexpensive. And I thought it was a cool idea.
A cool idea. Okay. I'll definitely give that a look when I get up there, because it's, again, I'm aware of it. I just haven't spent a lot of time diving into it. It's tough with karting. It's, it always seems like every couple of years there's a new engine package that's going to save karting.
Yeah.
And I was actually at a swim meet for my daughter this past weekend. I was talking to a gentleman we were both doing judging for the swimming, and I was wearing a Norcal Karter t-shirt, and he was asking about Norcal Karter. He's like, "Oh, is that like a real kart or an indoor kart?" And I go, "No, this is for outdoor karts, racing karts." And he goes, "Oh yeah." He goes, I was thinking about getting involved with that." And he was a motocrosser. And so he instantly went to kind of the shifter stuff. It's like, "Oh, what about the 80s?" And I love the 80s. I think the 80s are a great package, but when you start blueprinting them, then you just run into so many problems that the 80 wasn't designed for from Honda. It's like third gear starts breaking, so you have to have an aftermarket company making you a third gear. If someone gets too carried away on the cylinders are going to crack. But it's kind of the rule. It's kind of the game of 80. I mean, it's like how much can you port it before the cylinder cracks? I mean, it's almost direct proportion of you're going to get more power, but it's not going to last.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to this guy, and he would be racing out here in the Central Valley, so out at Prairie City or Blue Max, or out at Dixon, and it's I think the Vortex stuff has been exceptional at Sonoma, and you know this, you race out there. You guys have had some stout fields at the Sonoma stuff. But the rock engine's almost just a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Performance for the smaller tracks here in the valley. So him and I are talking, and being aware of this 190 engine, he said a couple of key things that said, I probably need to look at this 190 a little bit more for a guy like that. He's trying to get into karting. He's asking the right questions, and I don't have the right answers because it's hard to sell someone on the 80 stuff, and it's one of the fastest growing classes right now in NorCal. That 80 group, Sean Knoll's doing a great job promoting it, but these guys are going to run into hardware issues and cases and main shafts and clutch bath. It's just a part of it. The CR80's discontinued. That's bottom line, unless they come out with a new one. But yeah, this 190 should be really cool.
So yeah, that was Jason's bottom line, is like, if you want like at a national level for the shifter field to grow, you need somewhere for them to start.
Yes, I agree, and I think there also is, for the most part, there is a big separation between a national level shifter driver and a club shifter driver. And there needs to be a way for someone to experience the shifter stuff without having to jump 100% into a national budget.
Yeah, and that's like, for people at Sonoma, we have the 125 limited, like, which is like, it's cool like for driving because it's slower, but then it's still the rock shifter package, which is expensive.
Yeah, with everything, you're right. It's expensive for that entry level. Let's call them club racers. It's like that limited class has been really neat to watch it grow. And there's actually some guys that have actually dropped out of masters and started running the limited stuff.
Yeah.
And I think as we get older, you're not there yet, but as we get older, it's like our reactions slow down, and it's just the thinking time. Where that limited class, I think, is going to help a lot of guys like re-enjoy karting, because they're not going to be behind the cart. They're going to be in front of it again.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't agree. You're way too young.
It was actually me, Seth Huntley, Aiden O'Neill, and Bryson Liu where that the limited idea kind of came from, because we started at Sonoma the junior shifter.
That's right.
Like, that's because we had the restrictors from Rock.
Yep.
And it was only like a couple of them ever made. But we were the pioneers for that, like the restricted Rock shifter for that 1 year.
Yeah.
It was 2018.
I remember that. That's when I kind of really first met you guys.
Yeah. So I mean, we did that, and then the year after that, they opened them up a little bit, because we had 29 horsepower, and the Rock shifter senior has 43. So it was a pretty big like hit to the horsepower.
Yeah.
We were almost the same speed as the senior Rock tag, like the Rock GP. But it was just like we had a gearbox, so we like were more efficient, and we had front brakes. But
Well, and honestly, in my dream world, I would have something where you have that limited class that everyone goes through. You know,
yeah,
unless it's a racer like you or Hunter, you know, these drivers that have already have shifter experience. If you're new, you jump into the restricted class.
yeah, because I mean,
Cut your teeth.
honestly, the restricted class, like I went from an X30 junior into this shifter junior, and it was like still like fast,
Yeah.
you know? It was still like quick, and it really teaches you how to do starts. That I honestly believe that's like why I'm like pretty decent at starts comparative to other people, is the junior shifter has so much less power. It's a lot harder to get good launches.
Oh, that's a good point.
It teaches you how to get starts. You jump into the senior and it's like, wow, I have a lot of power now. It's easy to do starts.
Yes, that's a very good point. So you're a fan of the restricted and the 190.
Yeah. The 190 was just something different, and I just thought it was fun to drive. Like I didn't even
Okay.
fit in it at all. I'm 6 foot. I think Jason Lapointe, he's a pretty short guy. He's probably 5'8".
Hey, dude, come on, that's
And
messed up.
but like we didn't change anything. I hopped in the go-kart. Like I didn't fit. It was uncomfortable, and I still had fun in it. It was just like,
So when you
yeah,
upshifted, you just pulled your leg back.
I could have.
You used the top of your knee.
I could have. I was.
I mean,
I was
that would have
just.
been efficient because then you're lifting and shifting at the same time.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, because I don't know how those gearboxes are. Were you able to no lift shift it or
No.
no? You had to lift.
There. So the way the shifting mechanism worked is we needed I don't know, like a point in the middle to. It's like it was going the wrong way, so we had to transfer it to the opposite way to actually like shift the correct way, pulling
Oh,
it.
so you had like a transfer lever or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so that way
So
when you pulled back on the shifter, then it pulled forward on the engine.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was like their like first like prototype transfer lever. So like you weren't allowed you weren't allowed to like bang gears, you know? You
Okay.
kind of we had to be gentle on it just because like we didn't want to break it.
Yeah.
But they're working with Odenthal to make it like stronger and more durable to where you will be able to slam gears.
Got it. Yeah, the gearbox company will like that.
Yeah, we had to be pretty delicate on the
Yeah.
shifts, but
Very cool. So we're gonna see Cole Shade in a 190. Is that what I'm hearing?
probably not. I'll,
You just said how great it was.
well, I raced the 125.
I know.
It would be cool for like KPX. Like if I would want to run like KPX if I like could have one of those. Like that would be
Yeah.
fun. That'd kind of
Honestly,
ruin
I'd
it for
rather
the
see
club
them
guys.
piggyback off
But
of like what the 80 guys are doing. That 80 Norcal championship.
yeah, that would
Because
be cool.
yeah, because I mean, again, they're doing a great job growing the 80 stuff, and then you almost have a built-in base right there. They're already shifter guys. Um, yeah, I think that would be kind of an interesting fit.
I know like hardcore karting people don't like it because it's a four-stroke. That was something like people like didn't like the sound of it and stuff like that. But if you get over that and like you drive it, and it's just like fun.
Yeah. Well, and I know, you know, we've been exposed to like the Honda 250F out at Sonoma. Um, they're fast, but when you see them on a go-kart, there's nothing sexy about them.
No.
So I'm really curious to see how this 190 plays out. And like you said, LaPointe's been working real close with Odenthal to get some mounts and stuff made. And I mean, I think eye appeal is very, very important when you're trying to sell something. Um, and again, you're right about the sound. Now, if they sounded like R1s, that'd be a little different.
Yeah. They it sounds like just like a motorcycle on the track. Like if you've been at the track when there's supermotos running, it sounded
Yeah.
like that. It was pretty loud.
Okay.
It was kind of strange. Like you'd be behind it, like I'd be like passing him on the track, and it's like super loud when you're behind it. You would pass it, and you could still hear it when you were in front of it.
Yeah.
But when you're driving it, it's not like ear piercingly loud.
Got it. Okay. So when you get outside of that cart bubble, it's loud.
Yeah.
Got it. Oh, that's some interesting insight there. Cool. All right, how do you want to wrap this thing up? Trackmagic Rally, June 4th through the 6th. Are you and your dad going to stop anywhere on the way up or on the way down doing anything special?
I doubt
Or,
it.
or are you just going to be pedal to the metal? Let's get to Canby.
Yeah, my dad's very pedal to the metal. He's kind of he's actually like gnarly. He can drive for hours and hours. I mean, we did a test day for Cal Speed one day. We got up at midnight, 12 in the morning from my house, drove to LA, got there at 8 or 9 o'clock. Did the whole test day. So I drove, he was my mechanic, and then left the track and got back to my house at 12 o'clock midnight.
Oh, man. Yeah. My dad and I, we did that one time. It was the last day, the Moran. This is before your time, I think. The Moran Speedway or Moran Raceway. I think it was called Fullwood Kingdom out there in Beaumont. But it was the last day the track was going to be open to the public. And it was a track I had been to many, many times. Never drove it. I've only worked at the track. And I was talking to my dad. I go, Dad, we need to go. We need to go drive this track. And we loaded up his cart, and it had a stock Honda on it. And it was kind of that same type of a deal. We didn't get a room. We bonsai'd down there. We bonsai'd home. And I remember it took me 2 days to recover.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, I was like, I'm never doing that again. I'm glad I drove the track, and it's embarrassing. I had the wrong gear on there. We kind of just thrashed everything together because it was last second. Blew the crap out of it because I was trying to run pump fuel on a stock Honda, and I couldn't get enough head volume in it, and I couldn't get enough jetting in it to try to make it work. And people are probably sitting there going, dude, you should know better than that. And I did. But we were trying to make it work on pump fuel for kind of the recreational guy. Didn't work. But yeah, and after that trip, I was like, that was a great memory with my dad and I. But I was destroyed for a couple of days. It was just taxing. And I didn't even do a lot of laps at the track. I mean, it wasn't like I did 100 laps at the track because him and I were going back and forth. Yeah. But yeah, that was fun. So you think Dad's gonna say, "Nope, we're getting there. We're coming home"?
Yeah, we're driving. We're bringing Brendan Rosbarski and Preston Lambert up with us.
Okay.
So yeah, we're just gonna go there, do the whole thing, come back.
Okay. Yeah, I know Bob Eriks. He's going up early, and I think he's doing some camping on the way up. And Idelson, Howie Idelson. It sounds like he's taking Highway 1 on the way up there.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to do I-5 because I live right off of 99. It's a quick jaunt to I-5.
We're right off 99 also.
Yeah, that's right. And but I kind of wanted to break the trip up because Lillian's going. And I'm looking at maybe doing the jet boats on the Rogue River.
Oh, okay.
That right now, that's at the top of the list of really wanting to do. And then there's also a zoo. Like a wildlife refuge or something that I want to look into. But I think one way we're going to haul butt to get there. And on the way back, maybe then the other direction, take 2 days.
Yeah.
And throw some sights in there.
I think my computer might die soon. So.
Oh, that's a great way to kick me off. Hey, Jason, you're talking too much. My computer's dying. So no, that's fine. We've been on this thing for a while. We rambled quite a bit, or I rambled quite a bit. But Cole, thanks for joining us. And if those that don't know, if you just look at his shirt right there, he's Trackmagic Factory Driver. And we will be heading to Canby next week. And Cole, thank you for joining me on this. It's the more and more of these videos I do, the more and more I'll fine tune them. So thank you for being my second guinea pig. Yeah. So I appreciate that.
It's a pleasure to talk.
Yeah, and you have a beautiful background. I mean, the scenery in your background is beautiful.
Yeah, I'm at my grandparents' house right now in Danville.
Yeah, I mean, it's just gorgeous.
So, yeah.
Cool. So, everyone, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is Norcal Karters. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spreaker or your other favorite podcast app. I'll post this to Facebook. Um, we'll have a lot of updates. I'll track down Cole Shade up in Oregon next week. We'll get some Facebook videos. My biggest goal right now, please help me get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, because then I can unlock live videos. So right now I don't have enough subscribers, and YouTube said, no, step it up. You need 1,000 subscribers. So Norcal Karters on YouTube, please subscribe and like. And Cole Shade, thank you very much, and we'll see you in a week.
Yeah,